So at the top, you can see those are typical neuron connections. Synapses are firing. Neurons are sending messages to each other that help us to interpret and perceive the world around us in appropriate ways. But at the bottom, kids who are having toxic stress, they have fewer connections. The neurons aren't firing and wiring together in the way that we want them to. Certain circuits are going offline. But what in the world is going on? That is a 300-year medical mystery. How is it that the stress immune system is connected to a loss of synaptic connectivity in the brain? How is that possible? Now, for 300 years, researchers have thought that the brain was the only organ in the body that could not be touched by the human immune system. And it all turns out to come down to one tiny little cell called microglia. So just remember that. I know it's a new word, microglia. You're going to be hearing a ton about it in the next few years because it turns out that this powerful little immune cell has been hiding in plain sight. For 100 years, researchers at NIH and other labs thought that this was a boring housekeeper cell. All it did was it carted away dead neurons when they died in the brain. But it turns out that microglia are actually immune cells. They've been hiding in the brain all this time. When a fetus is in development, these little tiny microglial cells break off from our white blood cells, our immune cells. They migrate up to the brain, and there they reside for the rest of a person's lifetime, and all of medicine missed it until in 2016, a Harvard researcher, Beth Stevens, began to look more closely at these cells, and guess what she found? They are activated just like your immune system by toxic stressors, by pathogens, by infections. They morph into big, bushy Pac-Men, and they go through the brain and they eat synapses. They can see synapses in the belly of traumatized microglia. So a 300-year mystery has just been solved by researchers, which explains this correlation between chronic stress in childhood, the loss of synapses in a developing child's brain, and the later result of mental health disorders. This is huge science. Textbooks are being rewritten.